Hey everyone. So, one of the most common questions that I get as a tax goddess is, Shauna, this tax strategy thing where you're getting people down to 6% or less in taxes, a new book. Anyway, when you're getting people down to 6% or less in taxes, I'm really worried. I mean, how do these transactions, am I going to have a penalty? Is the IRS going to come after me? What's going to happen? So guys, I want to explain two things here. One of them is, of course, the aggression scale. Now, this is a created and I'm trying to work on a trademark for it, but the aggression scale questions 0 to 10. 0 meaning the IRS will never call you, never ever, except for random audit. 10 meaning we're all going to jail. Okay, tax goddess will not go above an 8, which means we're totally legal. Everything we do is above board. Okay, but you might still get a call from the IRS. Now, why do I start this discussion about disclosing non-economic substance transactions on Form 8275? Why do I bring that up with relation to tax goddess's strategy? I'm not, okay? And the reason why I'm not is because I want you guys to be asking any tax strategist, anyone that you're working with, in what ways are you preventing me from going to jail? Right? You need to know that aggression scale question, and you need to know in what ways are you preventing me from paying massive penalties from going to jail. Now, one of the questions, and those are some big questions, big theoretical questions here, and we welcome those kinds of questions because we'll explain exactly how we do it for you. Just reach out to our team. We can let you know. But if you are interviewing a new tax strategist, what I want you to do, one of the trick questions that I want you to ask, okay, is what is Form 8275 and when would I use it while working with you in your program, okay? So I'm going to explain to you guys what is Form 8275, all right? Now, 8275 and 8275R is a specific disclosure form that if a tax strategist is using a position that lacks economic substance, then they need to file this form with your tax return. Otherwise, you, not your preparer, you could be on the hook for a 40% penalty under code section 6662I. Now, I hate talking code sections, so Shauna, what do you mean? Okay, so the very first one, the economic substance. What does economic substance mean? Economic substance is something that you're doing that actually has a true economic impact, okay? So I'm gonna use one of my favorite strategies called an 831B. Now, an 831B is a captive insurance company, okay? And there are good uses and there are bad uses. And this is why an 831B captive insurance company can be listed on the IRS's dirty dozen list, all right? So if you do it properly, if you're using it well, and you're buying insurance. So let's make an example, okay? You've got, actually, this is a real live example. You have a cattle rancher, okay? He's got 500,000 head of cattle. And his cattle graze. He's got a field and he's got a mountain and he's got a couple of hills, okay? But he's pretty high up on a mesa, right? He's pretty high up in altitude, okay? So a good 831B program would maybe insure, self-insurance company, captive insurance company, would insure against the risk of mad cow disease, okay? Because that is something real. That is something that could absolutely happen and it could destroy his entire herd. So that is a case where we would not use a Form 8275 because there is absolutely economic substance to the reason why you would have an insurance company as a cattle rancher to protect yourself against mad cow disease. Does that make sense to everybody? Hopefully? Okay. Now, this is where the true case came in. We saw the exact same case, cattle rancher, 500,000 head, okay, up on top of a very high altitude. His tax strategist told him to use the insurance company, but to buy a policy against flooding. He's on top of a very large mountain, okay? There is no flooding. There has not been flooding in that area for over 500 years. So in that case, what the tax preparer and tax strategist, the team of two, tax preparer and tax strategist, should have done, first of all, they shouldn't have done that in the first place. It lacks economic substance, but they absolutely should have filed Form 8275 along with Form 8886, which was the captive insurance company form, right? Those two forms to protect their client against the 40% lack of economic substance penalty. They did not. Okay, so in this particular case, the guy ended up paying about $450,000 between penalties, interest, and of course, repaying the taxes on this policy that he created. So why am I bringing all of this up to you guys? All right, you guys know that Tax Goddess specializes in tax strategy. We work with people taking home about $300,000 a year or more, paying at least $100,000 a year in taxes. It is extremely important that when you are trying to choose a tax strategist to work with, that they know what these things are, okay? And they're utilizing them properly to protect you, the taxpayer, their client, okay, in case there's ever an issue. Because you may not be thinking that you're doing anything wrong, but the IRS might, okay? So I bring in the aggression scale question is the first question you should always ask every single tax strategist that you work with. But of course, I also bring up the fact that I want you to ask this very specific question. If I choose you as my tax strategist, when would we need to use Form 8275 in your program? Okay, really what you want to hear, the answer that you want to hear is never, right? We don't use tax strategies that lack economic substance or that have a significant purpose of tax avoidance or evasion. These are all the strategies we use are business choices. These are logical business choices, okay? But if the person, one, if the strategist kind of gives a blank look, Form 8275, run away, okay? Or two, if they're saying, yeah, we use Form 8275 all the time, well, why are we doing strategies that might be on that aggression scale, level 9, level 10? Why would you intentionally want to put yourself in harm's way from the IRS? So that is the question I want you guys to be asking. Any tax strategist, feel free to ask my team when you call us, what is Form 8275? Why would we use it? When would we file it? How does it apply to your program? These are kind of the questions that you want to know, okay? So if anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to ask us. We would love to chat with you and see how we can help you get down to a 6% life, okay? Legally above board and not needing any 8275 disclosures, all right? So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the team and I. You can find us down below or easy enough, go to taxgoddess.com. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.